Let's talk about this precious commodity, which is time. It is a precious commodity that all of us have been gifted. It's not like talent. Some people have got more of certain talents than others, but all of us, we have been gifted with time. Whether you go from one planet to the next, whether you go from one country to the next, we are all given 24 hours in a day. But how we use that day makes a difference between whether you achieve your goals, whether you become productive, the level of stress that you experience, but most importantly, the extent to which you manage your life. And I have also learned through my personal experience that the tips that I'm going to share with you, once you steer away from them, you end up engaging in meaningless activities that are not taking your life anywhere. So stay tuned as we're going to dive into these elements that people that are progressive and successful in various types of life practice to use their time effectively. Let's jump into the first one. Successful people set their time for self-reflection. You cannot survive in this life without reflecting upon you as an individual. We live in a highly paced life. Things change as quickly as possible. There are new innovations. There is demands happening in our work environments. There are demands in our family situations. And if you don't take time to reflect and just be with yourself, then you are going to burn out and you are not going to face life with the most important energy that you require to be able to do things that are expected out of you. So during this time of reflection, successful people use it either to pray, to meditate, and just to be with themselves so that they can re-energize and start to and face life with more vigor, with more clarity. So make sure that you set up your time for self-reflection. Point number 2, they set time where they know that they are most productive. That is very, very important because there's a lot of things that are happening in a day. So you need to know at what point are you most productive in a day so that you can be able to structure the work and move it to that time in the day when you are most productive. But you don't just move any other work. You move work that is of value, work that is going to make a difference in your organization, the proposal that you're going to do, a business case that you're going to present. So successful people make sure that they know at what point of the day are they most productive so that they can channel that work that requires more energy, more thinking, and more focus to that time in the day so that they avoid doing things haphazard, but to direct their energies at the right time on the right initiatives. Point number 3, successful people separate family time from work time. They make that distinction, just like you would separate oil and water. They do that because they know that these two facets require different forms of energy. And if you want to do them at the same time, one of them is going to be compromised. So they know that they need to spend not just time with their families, but quality time with their families. If it takes dating a spouse at a particular point in time, then work is being put aside and the focus is on dating a spouse. If it's dating the children or the entire family, the same is being done so that the two are not conflicted. They do not go out and saying, I'm doing this work for you, I'm burning these hours because of you. So the family does not have to suffer and wait for that opening or that moment when this person is free and then dedicate whatever time that is left to the activities of the family. No, it's deliberate planning that quality time is going to be set aside for family. And when work is done, it's work. When family time is there, it becomes family time. Point number 4, they dedicate time to learning. They know that for them to be successful, for them to be achievers in whatever field that they are involved in, they need to dedicate some time to be able to learn new concepts, learn about new trends, and advance their knowledge in that field. So they dedicate their time to learning. So that is why most of gurus in personal development will say, spend at least a time in a day where you go through 10 pages of one of the books that you are reading. Dedicate 10 to 15 minutes of your time to listen to an audio of that is of interest to you, so that you continue developing yourself. So successful people are deliberate about that. You know, when it comes to a saying that says that for anything that is important for you, there'll be time. That is exactly what they are doing. And even with learning, they set up time to be able to learn new concepts so that they continue to sharpen the saw, as Stephen Covey would say. So make sure that you do likewise as successful people do, and set up the time for your own learning. Point number 5, they attend networking events. They are deliberate about it. They know that there are business conferences or seminars, there are professional seminars, and they go to those events with a view to go and meet other people, like-minded people who are going to assist them to learn in the new trades, but not only to learn, to establish new relationships that are going to take them forward. Again, we said it about, we talked about it many times on this platform. Show me 5 of your friends, and I'll tell you where your future is going to end. Equally so, tell me where you spend most of your time, and I'll tell you where your future is going to end. So it's all about going into these networking events and spending time in there, learn, meet new people, and then in that way, you broaden a circle of people around you who are going to help you succeed. So that's what successful people do. They are deliberate about going to networking events, and that's where they spend their time. Point number 6, they engage in physical exercise. You need this body for it to be able to carry you. So why not take care of it? You cannot tell me that in a day, in 24 hours, you don't have 5 minutes to just take a walk around the block. You don't have 5 minutes to just take a skipping and just skip around the block. 5 minutes just to do mountain climbs, jumping jacks. All of those things are important. So you do not need the whole hour or 2 for you to go into the gym. You can do it at home. And successful people do exactly that. They set time to engage in some sort of physical exercise, walking around the block and others that I've mentioned, so that they keep their bodies active, and in that way their bodies will be able to carry them, so that they are able to do the things that are going to drive their goals going forward. Point number 7, they plan for the next day the night before. Again, it's all about setting time. They set time the day before or a night before so that they can plan for the next day. And they are deliberate about it. So use that tip, because you are able to plan your day in the most effective way, so that when you wake up in the morning and do the self-reflection, you can already factor that into what you reflect upon for your day to be successful. So all of these things, they talk to each other. They are interrelated, and they will assist you to be able to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. The last point, they engage in fun. Probably you are saying, successful people are boring. All about them is seriousness, focusing on stuff in a straight-jacketed way. No, they also engage in fun activities. But the difference is that if you use a Pareto principle, they would rather spend 10% or 5% of their time in fun activities than a situation where unsuccessful people use almost 80 to 90% of their time in entertainment and not focusing on the right thing. And as they go to entertainment, they meet like-minded people, people who are focused, people who will tap them on the shoulder to say, it's enough, let's go back home. We don't have to overindulge in whatever that we do. It's all about moderation, because there's always the next day. All those tips are important, and I would like you to take them seriously and apply them in your life. And I would like to borrow from Stephen Covey, who has said that time management is a misnomer. The challenge is to manage ourselves. And if we can understand that, then we realize that we will apply and deploy ourselves to the right activities at the right times. Then we will surprise people who will ask you to say, but do you have more than 24 days in your life? And you say, no, I've got 24 days as you do. The only difference is that I use my 24 days, hours in the most effective way. I hope this lesson is important to you, it resonates with you, and you'll take some of these tips and go apply them in your